Hey YouTube, I got a pretty cool video for you guys today. I've been watching eBay for a while looking for a vintage hand crank drill set, and I found this set including quite a few drill bits for about $50 including shipping. It's pretty old and still has the wooden handles and stuff, and a little bit of damage on the tip here, but it's not too bad. Right over here. The chuck is the old style of the chuck with the jaws inside of it. The bits have this old vintage style bit. They're all in pretty good condition. This one, let me get a little close up on that tip for you guys. This one's in alright condition. Some of them are in a lot better condition than this, but they're all pretty rusty. So I'm going to be dumping these inside of a CLR to remove some of this rust, and hopefully I can polish it up later. Let me show you how these things work. It's pretty cool. You open the chuck, this slides in, tighten it down. This has got a pretty cool ratcheting system. When you have the little knob covering this over here, rotate this over, you can ratchet it one direction but not the other. When this side is exposed, you can't ratchet it that direction. So you can rotate this back, cover it, rotate this past, then you can ratchet it the other direction. The wood is in some pretty good condition. I think I'll sand it down and oil it. Looks like it's still pretty dirty. This stuff's been getting a bit of rust on my hands. Got quite a selection of different styles of bits. Some of them I don't even know quite what they're for. This one's a pretty interesting bit. Got some of these like spade bits here. Sharp on the edges. Got these really interesting old style of bits, much smaller. Got quite a few of them about this size, roughly about the same size. Got some medium-sized ones, some long, thin ones. Pretty good haul for about 50 bucks. This is the more, I think, modern style of the bit, but still with the same connector for the old ratcheting. So I'm going to get this into CLR and get some of this rust off. I'll probably be taking this guy apart and making sure to get it all exposed, but you know, protect the wood from getting exposed to that. Alright, I got a little 2-gallon bucket here with some warm water. I'm going to use some CLR, not a whole lot of it. Just going to dump that in. Alright, I'm just going to dump about, I don't know, a cup or so into there. You put the drill bits directly in. Now I'm going to have to take apart the actual drill here. It's going to be a little bit difficult because I don't think it can quite fit in there. Just unscrew this guy. Got the jaws in there. Alright. These jaws just rotate out. Looks like they're not even really held in, just a little bit of friction. I think I'm just going to treat just the front of this and manually do the back of this stuff. I don't want to have to bother taking all the wood off. Get that in there. Keep it underneath some of the other bits. Keep it in. Cool. I'll give that a good soaking and wash it off later. Rinse them off. So I hope this shows up well on camera, but the CLR is bubbling off of the drill bits, so I think that means it's working pretty good. I'm not sure how long I'm going to have to soak these for. Could be 15 minutes, could be a couple hours. Just want to make sure I don't damage these since they're so old. I want to keep them in good condition and really respect these old tools. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. Still bubbling pretty good, but I'm going to put on some gloves here and give them a little simple scrub just to see how much comes off. These are some awesome 7mm nitrile gloves from Harbor Freight. Come about $11 for 50 pairs. Pretty good deal if you're doing stuff that requires gloves, but normal gloves will tear. So just pick one of these. Just want to see if anything comes off yet. Looks like quite a bit came off there. You can compare this one to this one. That's pretty good. It's just a brass brush. That's pretty good. There's still a little bit of discoloration there. There could be some really deep rust or just some simple discoloration because of its age. I know, got my Bushcraft knife that has some discoloration like this, but it's just there and doesn't seem to be actual rust or anything like that. I think that's pretty good. I think I'll start off with this one. Let's see a little bit. This is a little bit thicker on the back here. This brush isn't the hardest and these bristles bend pretty easily. Comparing the colors on there, not a huge difference. I think I'll let it soak a bit longer. Alright, I had this in the CLR solution for about an hour, but it really didn't do much in loosening up the rust, so I've put it back in with a fresh dose of the CLR, and you can see it's bubbling pretty good. Put about a half cup or so in there again with some warm water. I'm keeping the handle of the drill bit, or the drill, out of there because it's wood and I don't want to have any damage to the wood. Alright, I left these two soak overnight and they seem to be quite a bit different. Yeah, the surface rust is much easier to remove, so let's see. Find a good spot for you guys. We'll look a little bit in the back over here. This stuff's still pretty pocked, pretty rusty. We'll try this spot, see how well it comes off of here. Doesn't look hugely different, but it's definitely easier to remove. So I think I'm going to remove this from the bath. It's been in there for a good almost 12 hours or so. So I'm going to remove this, rinse them off, dry them off real quick, and we'll give them a shot later. That's much better. So somehow in the process of doing this, I must have gotten this wet or something, even though I was pretty dang careful. Something got on here and just totally cracked this. I'm not certain if this can be replaced. I mean, carving one of these and drilling it out really won't be that difficult, but I'm not even sure how to get it on here. So that'll be interesting to try to figure out how to do that. I'll probably try to save it, soak it in some oil or something. Just keep it the way it is, but learning. Got this a bit more cleaned up, but still pretty dirty. I think I'll Give it some more soaking. So this has some roll pins going through it. I might be able to knock those out, really get the inside cleaned out, but I'm not sure how difficult it will be to reassemble, so I think I'm just going to leave these like this and just really soak it in some oil instead. Motor oil or something like that. Something I got lying around. Let's check out some of these random bits here. Got plenty of WD-40 on my hands. Got a brand name on here. Looks like Snell's Solid Center. Snell's Solid Center. Cool. I'm not going to do a whole lot to these. They're going to get rusted up again anyways. Well, used up a bit. I do want to get them resharpened but protect them again. Get them back into a usable form. So this one's got a bit of a burr on it right there. I'm gonna have to rework that one a little bit. Don't want to use the file unless I have to. It takes up too much metal. This one's starter screw does seem to be pretty good. This one looks like it might need a little bit of file. Looks extremely dull, except over here. That looks pretty good. That looks very dull. D24, made in USA. Just loving these antique vintage drills. See if I can get that focus for you guys. RLSELL. Guessing that's supposed to be Russell. JENN. Russell Jennings, made in USA, number 100. Pretty sweet. 17. Interesting. This is also in really good condition. Inside's not too good, but looks like they clamped this on, so I don't think this can be removed. Could bend it out, but might snap. Never get that back again, so I'm gonna stick with this. Even though it's a little dirty on the inside. Alright, I apologize for the poor lighting in here. Down in my lab, as I like to call it. I got some polishing compound here. This is to remove a bit more than a simple polish. I'm going to use it to remove any more of that rust that might still be there. Get these nice and shined up. Start off with one of the simple bits here. This one looks pretty easy. I'm definitely not an expert at dealing with polishing wheels, so this will be a learning experience for me. Definitely don't want to mar these up with the vise here. Nice and steady. Make sure that's all in frame for you guys. Here, let me move this over. Cool. Should be pretty simple. This guy very well covered. got a small wheel here, and I expected that it would be better at getting in there than it is, but it's alright. Alright, that's pretty good. Pretty good. This tip is pretty hard to get into, but I think that'll be alright because this is the spot that's going to be eaten up by the wood anyways. I think this guy is done. Cool. Looks much better than before. Much, much better. Still got to sharpen this up. So this one's pretty dang dull. Cool. It really doesn't seem to do anything. I mean, I don't think this is going to get any much deeper. I think I'm going to try a brush wheel. Got a cheapy Craftsman drill and a cheap wire wheel. Wow, that's surprising. Sparks are coming off like that. This one is pretty dang stubborn. I don't think I can get this nearly as clean as I would have liked. Very unexpected to see those sparks. Very unexpected. Alright, I think it's about as good as this guy's gonna get. It's just so destroyed. Must have just gotten left in a toolbox for a decade or something. Well, this one is far from perfect. Definitely not what I wanted it to be, but I think it's much better. Yeah, it's just so pockmarked. Alright, got another large guy here. I think we can just go right back to the polishing wheel. I don't think this one needs that brush, steel brush. That one looks much better. Pretty hard to get the tips of these though. You know what, this one doesn't really need any polishing, that one's fine. This one, also pretty good. A little bit on the shaft, I'll do the shaft. A vise has got to be one of the best inventions ever, especially for a bench. You want something to hold still? it'll hold it still. Well, this has got some pretty caked on gunk right there, so I'm going to use the wire brush again. Clean that gunk off. Oh yeah. Took that off real fast. Apparently got some in the middle too. I'm going to try to get that if I can. Make sure that's polished up and protected. Yeah, I'm going to have to use the wire brush in there. It's way too thin to get in there. Oop. There we go. Drill finally gave out. This thing, for what it costs, works extremely well. Very impressed with it. Alright, we got the top bar of this drill here, and it's having a really hard time getting it with the CLR and stuff because of the wood between on both ends of it. So I'm just going to try a steel brush on this and see if I can get anything to come off with it. Oh yeah, that's working real good. Looking much better. Much better. Not perfect, but much better. Alright, that's pretty good. And we got the tip of this. Fix this camera angle. Wow. Okay. That got stuck easily. Let's do it right in there, gently. All right. Let's start putting this back together. It should be pretty simple, actually. This guy just pushes right in there. Kind of hard to get in. Like that. This should go around it. This just screws in. And this is, of course, ratcheting, so we're going to shut that. That's all working. Great. Looks good. I need to sharpen these bits though, so I'm going to do that next. Some of them are going to need filing, some of them are going to need just to sharpen. I want to have that to the side just for safety reasons, in case I accidentally stab myself, which, as you may have noticed, I am prone to. Alright, I've got some cheap bits here. I've got some cheap files, rather, and I think these will work just fine for what I'm doing. Got a simple diamond rod here. Should be able to, this one's pretty nice, flip around. Try to get in that small, the small parts of the bits here. Get those sharpened up. They were all pretty dull, and some of them have some burrs on them as well. It is pretty tiny. Let's use a square. Okay. It's obviously rounded, so it's probably not the best for this. Pretty hard to get these in this tiny little spot. I'm not even sure if I'm capable of sharpening ones that are this small. I'm going to start with a bit of a bigger one, just to start off with. This one looks pretty good. It doesn't have any burrs on it, so I think I can just go right at it with this rod. I'm going to flip this over. Use the other side, which is hopefully not too large. These all also have this little kind of wings or shoulder things sticking up like this. I'm not sure how sharp these are supposed to be, if sharp at all. I don't know. That's much sharper. This side, I think I could cut myself on that. This one, not quite. There we go. That's much better. Let's give this one a try. See if I'm even sharpening it well. Alright. Let's see how well this works. I've never used one of these before, so I assume it's not going to go easily. Ha! I should have thought of that. We'll grab something a bit bigger. Alright, got an old piece of wood here. See what I can do. Gotta go in between the nails here. Device is moving on me. It's working good. not biting anymore. I think it's because the screw isn't pulling in, so I think I need to get a bit more leverage. Sorry. There we go. Cool. Works pretty good. A little warm. Nothing crazy. Alright, there's our hole clean through. Got a couple nails on this piece of wood, but I just made sure to go between those. Pretty happy with that. Pretty smooth once it's inside. So when I'm putting this on, I've noticed it's kind of hard to get it aligned properly with all the teeth, with the jaws in there. So I find it easier to just kind of get it a little bit tight to where it can't come out anymore, and then pull it all the way up. And then tighten it. Like that. That feels good. Nice positive tightness on there. Let's try right over here. Actually, you know what? I'll give you guys a little quick shot of what this looks like up close. Once this focuses. Alright, there it is up close. Kind of focusing on my hand instead. Looks pretty dull, but I bet it'll still cut pretty well. Alright, let's try it. Come on, there we go. Do you like that leading screw? I think this would be extremely difficult without it. This one already does feel a little bit tougher than the other one. Woo! Nice. That's pretty smooth. Alright, here's with the bit after it's been used. There we go. A little bit shinier on the edges. Great. This one doesn't have any burrs, so I'm just gonna pull the rod across it. Make sure that's in frame. Yeah. But most people just file these. They probably don't even bother with the diamond rod. But I think this little bit of work right now will make it easier in the future whenever I use these bits. Sharper it is, less work I have to do. Cool. Pretty good. I'm going to sharpen the edges of this again. This is usually the diamond rod I bring on when I do some bushcraft stuff. It's got a little fish hook, sharpening spot, flat, and beveled, and then it's got the cone or pointy one on the other side, which can be nice. I don't think the nail's going to go down that low, so I'm going to start with right here. Seems to be a little smoother. I'm trying a little bit less hard, but it still seems to be getting in there. So I think that's worth it. It's going to take forever, but that seems to be a lot better. Probably won't end up sharpening these tiny little guys. One, I don't think I've got a rod that can do that. And two, I don't imagine myself using them all that often. I've got like 6 of those identical ones. Alright, well, I'm going to be sharpening these. Nothing special. If I do anything different, I'll make sure to record that. Alright, so let's go sharpen that guy I tried to sharpen first. I want to do a before and after on it, and this thing is terrible. I'm putting my whole torso's weight on there, and I'm getting like nothing. I could probably get my leg into it. Still nothing. I think this just gets some chips stuck onto it. Actually, let me see if I can get that in camera. Do it again. Oh, well, now it's working a little bit better. There we go, now it's stuck. So on the teeth on here, on the edge of this, it was getting some little wood chips caught on it, stuck to it, which it couldn't get through. So I think it's just not sharp enough to cut in and push them away. They get kind of pushed onto it instead. So this one's definitely going to need a sharpening, so I'm going to try to do that now. Alright, after some sharpening, it seems to be a bit better. Yeah, that actually seems to do something. Other time, it just barely seems to do anything. It might be, it could be that the starter screw on here might be a little bit bad. Looks okay, in okay condition. It's not like I can resharpen that. I don't have anything that tiny. But it's still struggling to get started. It's better, but not good either. Not quite sure what to do with this guy. Sharpened it a little bit. It's working a little bit better. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. Maybe I'll learn some stuff in the future. Interesting. This guy looks like it's got only one of those wings. And I think it was done on purpose. It doesn't look like it was broken over here. This looks nice and smooth, simple. Let's see how this guy functions. Didn't hit a nail. It's not really going suddenly. Yep, it's just not going. Alright, this guy's got a couple burrs on it, so I'm gonna have to get these burrs off first. Let's try that out. Might be the screw at the front. Really can't get that to go anywhere. Even twisting it doesn't really go anywhere. Pressure doesn't make anything happen either. Let's try a different spot just in case something's wrong with that spot somehow. Let's try this spot again. No, nothing. How interesting. Nothing. I think that the screw on the tip is doing a lot more than I think it is. And that's why it's not working. There's a little burr here on the edge of this though. That might have something to do with it, but this one, it just goes nowhere. Makes no traction whatsoever. Yeah, and I am twisting it the right way. This isn't like a left threaded thing or something. It just doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't do anything. Pressure, nothing. How interesting. Well, if you know any tips with getting something like this to work, I've sharpened it and I don't want to damage it anymore by trying to do something with the screw on the front. So I'm just going to call this one and leave it the way it is right now. In the future, if I learn something, I'll do something about it. This one is impressively fine thread at the front. Sounds very different. It's a different type of steel. It's really hard to get this angle. This thing barely fits in it as it is. I have a much better diamond stone set, but it is of course impossible to fit an entire stone inside of here. This rod barely fits. And it's definitely not hitting this nail. I was looking at it, it's definitely not in there. Yeah, pretty much nothing again. Okay, like I thought. Wasn't that nail. Much better. And this does have this cool ratcheting feature. Let's give that a try. It's backwards. So if you didn't have some sort of clearance, you could ratchet this in. I think I'll just loosen that. Bam. Much better. That one works great. Let's try out one of these more modern bits. This one's so tiny I can't even sharpen it, so I'm not going to really mess with it too much. I'm just going to try it out, see how it goes. Slowly but surely. Cool. Fills up. These ones go surprisingly easy through. Could be why they switched to this other style. Go through pretty easily. No, and what is this? I don't even know. Let's just see what it'll do. No idea what it's going to do. I'm just going to put it in one of these pre-drilled guys. Just try it. Well, it just pushes the wood apart. That's all it does. It doesn't really break it up or anything. What even are these? I have no idea. But it's not a bit. This one's got quite the burr on it. I'm going to try and take that off. Yep, this side too. Wonder if it just got old or what happened to it. Somebody could have used it, try to drill into metal or something like that. Really, really hard wood. Seeing wood that causes sparks from an axe if you hit it. Only seen that once though. A little bit too close for comfort. It just splits it. Interesting. Alright, what about right here? I bet you this will split right along there too. Oh, that bites really well. Cool. That worked great. I'm sure if the wood wasn't so destroyed already, that would have worked fine. This one looks pretty bad. I think it's so small that I won't be able to sharpen it either. Let's try it out. Not bad. Bet you I can get better though. Sharpen it up. If that's even possible in such a small bit. It's got a big chip in it. Take it out of this side here. I'm not quite sure how to deal with that besides filing it out, but it's already got quite a bit removed. I'd have to, I don't know, go like take off this whole wing or something like the other one, but to do that one myself, and I don't want to do that. I almost guarantee I'd botch something like that. Alright, we're going to try this spot again. Feels about the same. Might be a bit better. So, that one's good though. It's not too bad. This absolutely tiny one that I definitely will not be able to sharpen. Definitely can't sharpen that. It's got some fuzz stuck on the front. It's not too bad. It's so small that I can't tell if it's dull or just small. I'm going to guess small, because it seemed to go through pretty good. Well, that one's great. I like the fine thread ones. I'll have to watch out for that on the future. Just seems to go in easier. It just goes in easy. Slices right through. Alright, well, most of these bits turned out well. Garbage there. Most of them work pretty good. I need to make some sort of case for them. Might just get a simple bag, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty happy with that. Well, this has been a learning process for me, and I'm, as you can tell, no expert at this. But I do really enjoy learning this stuff and trying new things. Well, thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe and keep watching for some more videos from me.